What's up, y'all? Episode 87, business news, other shit. How y'all doing? We taped from Cedar's again, the restaurant that I own. We have launched a new menu here, y'all, by the way, with a kick-ass chef, delicious food, awesome reviews. Please roll through. If you see me, grab me, say what's up. We had some Cedar's drama, by the way, too, in that, so you'll get a taste of it. We had Billy McMillan, a cool dude named Billy McMillan, on the episode today. This dude worked at NASA for 10 long years. We also had Chris Brodhead, our producer, on the podcast. We haven't had him in a while. Him and Billy were friends back when they worked at NASA together. Man, what an interesting dude. So after a few years at NASA, this dude went into leadership development at NASA. Yeah, that's what's up. And then he did that for several years until he moved over to Accenture, where he's doing it professionally too. This dude's basically an in-house life coach for Accenture. That's what he was doing at NASA too. Man, we got into some really cool, detailed stuff about NASA. Are they a waste? Are they dumb? Are they cool? Is NASA worth it? I think you're going to enjoy this episode and how we talk about what NASA is all about and what kind of curiosity NASA satisfies, and is it worth it? Anyway, sit back, relax, enjoy the episode, y'all. Peace. Dude just walked in, one of my managers. He's like, hey, Chase Bank just walked over here and said they smell gas and they think it's coming from our place.
Ooh.
And they want to call the fire department. I'm like, no, Chase, don't call the fire department. And so just for listeners, we're taping from my restaurant, Cedar's, in Hyde Park. Open 7 days a week, y'all, from 11:30 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Hey.
Just a little mini plug there. Anyway, so what I was just telling these guys, listeners, was a whole bunch of dramas happened. My chef called in sick. He's got a fever. And I know he's got a fever. He just worked 14 days straight. God love this guy's soul.
I'd give anybody a fever for more cowbell.
Right? I told the guy like days ago, I'm like, dude, go home. Go home. He's not going. I love this guy. He's so dedicated.
Wow.
So loyal. And so he called in sick. And then I'm like, oh, shit. I got to figure out a solution. I got to tape this podcast, and we have a lunch rush that's about to come.
Yeah.
So I grabbed one of the cooks and one of the managers. I'm like, you guys need to help out downstairs because I got to do some stuff upstairs. And they're like, cool, we got you.
Yeah.
They're all over it. Rush starts to come in. They're cooking away, and the whole dining room just fills up with tons of smoke.
My God.
Right? Like they're cooking kebabs on these like 2,000-degree grills and broilers.
Yeah.
We've had this really cool infrared broiler that gets up to crazy temperatures. And so the whole dining room is full of smoke. And they come up to me like, hey, Amr, we think the place is burning down or something's happening. And so I go downstairs. I'm like, what the fuck? And as I was saying earlier to you guys, I thought to myself, Amr, put your thinking cap on. Figure this out. Figure this out. And so I realized that the fuse was off. The fuse had blown or something for the ventilator that actually sucks up the kebab smoke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, thank God. I hit it on. It starts getting sucked up. The dining room's starting to clear out a little bit. I go and talk to all the guests. Hi, my name is Amr. I'm the owner of the business.
I'm wearing my thinking cap.
I just took my thinking cap off. Now I want to put on my fake social cap. We have smoke in the dining room. I'm really sorry. Like, yeah, we noticed that we're choking. We noticed that we're choking. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. And so I got it all figured out. I settled them down, and then the manager comes in right now and tells me, hey, Amr, Chase just came over and said they smell gas and they're going to call the fire department. I'm like, no, it was just the ventilator was broke for just like 10 minutes. I swear.
I'll burn this place to the ground if you call the fire department.
What's up, y'all?
Yo.
Hello.
The most important thing, Billy, I'm sorry, you're playing fiddle right now. The most important thing is Chris Brodhead, y'all, producer of this podcast since 2018, not even 19.
Dog.
18.
Yeah, boom. Son.
Is with us today. We haven't had Chris in a long time.
Couple of months.
No, more than that.
6 months?
Yeah.
Probably.
I think so. It was when
well, John's doing such a good job, man. Like, the fuck do you need me for?
older. Talk.
Yeah.
I want you. Can you speak?
Yeah, I can speak.
Don't you want his mic louder?
Yeah, make your mic louder.
All right, I'll try something.
Is
that good?
Be heard.
There we go. Now
John's
you can hear me.
Just for the listeners who
I
are
have
not
a very
watching,
soft voice.
the fucking creepy
Yeah,
voice.
creepy voice.
I literally
It's
get
the type of voice that you imagine like warm breath going down the back of your neck.
yes,
you know.
yes. I literally
You know.
get abuse complaints emailed to me because like, who's this guy John Dolder? We feel like we're being abused. This is a complaint.
You know, he's bringing up bad memories. From
Yeah,
my
we're getting
childhood.
triggered. We need PTSD.
Yeah,
Pay for my therapy and
Audio abuse. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
All right?
audio abuse.
we're speaking out on here.
All right, so now that Chris is here and John is here, Billy, what's up, man?
What's going on?
There's something about saying it's something cool about saying, "What's up, Billy?"
Yeah.
I don't know many Billies.
I know, man. When everybody asks me, "Hey, is it Will? Is it Bill? How do you like to be called?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm not grown up enough, man. I need to have the E sound at the end. It just has a nice youthness to it that I probably won't ever let go of."
Good for you, brother. I hope you're
He
always
ties it back too, but he's got a really nice mullet.
What? I was gonna say, you got some cool hair. Actually, you look a little bit like Tom Cruise, Billy. Anybody ever tell you that?
Funny. Somebody that works in my uncle's restaurant, a cook in the back, told me that about 6 months ago. And I mean, you're in the restaurant business. It's kind of tough to get some legit workers sometimes.
Yeah,
And
dude, let me tell you.
I don't know if it was a clear mind or a higher mind that this individual was in. But I just said, well, thank you, my man. I'll take that as a compliment.
It is. Tom Cruise is a Hollywood superstar. So yeah, you got a little bit of Tom Cruise going right now,
I'll take it.
Billy. So I mean, what's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I was actually talking to Chris a little earlier. Got a 3-week-old little girl. I have a 3-year-old son. Just got back from his daycare, so I put him on his little nap just a second ago. And little girl's, having some milk with mama. So it's just this whole new life for me right now, man. Experiencing life as a dad, as a professional in the workforce, but just trying to maintain energy levels and put out good vibes in the world. So it's been good today.
Dude, that is wonderful, Billy. I'm a dad of 2. Both are under the age of 3.
Nice.
It's been transforming, man. I have a completely different life. And I was just saying recently, like my daughter and Dolder, pay close attention.
Mm-hmm.
She has like melted my heart. Like I have a much, much softer heart because I have it. She, whatever she says, wants, does, just her eyes, all they got to do is connect with my eyes. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I just start crying. She's, I love you. Like she's just, do you have I missed it if you said it. Boys or girls or boy and girl?
I have a 3-year-old boy and a 3-week-old girl.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That girl.
And what's interesting, so I'd love to hear, what was it like having your first one? Because for me, it was like, I have a history of a lot of insecurities, fears, things like that. But all of a sudden, when this baby was born and they placed the baby in my arms, I had this new sense of confidence. I don't know why. Like I was holding it one-handed. Like I couldn't even drop this thing. Before I would have been like,
you gonna dunk her?
I would hold a pizza with 2 hands in like a shopping cart. And now here I am just holding my new son, just like walking around confidence, just like
I'm the
it just
fucking
came out
man.
of nowhere, man. Yeah.
Oh
It was
no,
weird.
I totally have I had the only other time I felt like I had a big swinging dick was when I worked on Wall Street. But the second time was when I was walking around with my daughter, which is kind of a creepy combination if you think about it.
Yeah.
You don't want to be swinging anything when you're walking around with your newborn daughter. But yeah, you're right. Like it's suddenly like, I'm a man. You know what I mean? That kind of energy came out of me, like I'm a dad, I'm a man, I'm a father, I'm a husband. I got responsibility.
I filled my wife with my seed. I made this child.
I did it. I mean, first of all, we didn't do shit. Like we basically, in my opinion, we did nothing.
Oh yeah.
Second of all, it is kind of, if I had anything to do with creating that little girl, she was my first. If I had anything to do with creating that little girl, it was the most amazing thing I've ever did. Like I will never create anything even close to that. I don't care if it's art, a podcast, a dish, a restaurant, a smoky dining room. I will never create anything as amazing as that. Like it's literally
amen.
Like I think about the things we create as human beings: tall buildings, really cool paintings, awesome technology, cool graphic design. Like let's forget about kids for a second. You ever like look at some colors and I'll use this language because this is what I believe, that God has put out there in the universe, like just a really green, beautiful mountain in Hawaii or something, right?
Mhm.
And then you look at like someone trying to draw that mountain or that color, and you're like, not as vibrant, not even close.
Sorry, Bob Ross.
Yeah, right. You tried Bob Ross. You're not even,
Bob Ross.
you know, like not even close. And then
Yeah.
build a building compared to a mountain, not even close.
Yeah.
Or like just a sunset, like nothing good. So
Mhm.
like, God bless us human beings for creating amazing things, and when it comes to nature and animals, like ourselves or my daughter when she was born, like there's nothing in the world that compares to that creation.
Yeah.
That's my take.
Amen, man.
So
That's
Billy, I don't know if
beautiful.
that answers your question, brother, but that's how I feel about having that first child.
Great take. So summary: big swinging dick once once you became fatherhood and Wall Street. So yeah, that's the two
That's it.
takeaways. I have.
That's all you
That's all you
need.
got to know.
So
The
you,
visual is there, man.
what's
I
that?
told you he'd be good on this podcast.
Yeah, no, you got it.
He gets
so,
it.
So Billy, I mean, this is cool, man. So okay. So there's a whole bunch of news out in the business world, but let's first get a quick intro to you. The first thing that knocked my socks off was you worked for 10 years at NASA.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me,
And that's
man, that's like, that reminds me of myself trying to make it at JP Morgan in the investment banking world for 10 years. NASA, my guess is cutthroat.
I would say that I think everybody that has ever worked for NASA or had NASA to their title at some point in life definitely walks around the way that I did once I had my son. You know, super confident, world can't touch me. This is a, most recognizable thing. Just throw your name out. Oh, I'm Billy. I work for NASA. Everybody just turns heads in a room type thing. What a great feeling to have. So absolutely amazing 10 years that I had there. And it definitely helped shape my life to where I am now. It definitely took me out of my shell that I was as a human being until, I went through some opportunities that NASA provided me as a young leader. But I tell you what, I wouldn't trade it for the world. And NASA for sure is still out there making big things happen, even with the private sector, Elon and Bezos out there, producing their own private sector initiatives to go into space. We're all for it, man. We wanted to help support them get out there as much as possible, because really it's about advancing humankind versus NASA's number one. It's not about that. We're all in this together, and we need to move and advance humankind in a collaborative way for sure. It's great to be part of that.
I got so many questions for you around that, like so many, because I think NASA is this super prominent thing in everyone's mind, and I think in everyone's mind, at least in the last decade or two, it's also got a little bit of a cloudy fog around it, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's happened to me, at least. And I bet if it's happened to me, it's happened to other people too. But before we get to that, Chris, that's where you met Billy, at NASA. You worked at NASA.
Yep.
Would you mind telling us, Chris, how long did you last at NASA?
Well, before I met Billy, I was like, I ain't going to last here a month.
Really?
But then I met Billy and I was like, all right, thank God I have one person that I can hang out with at this joint. So I lasted about 2 years, and then I left. And Billy, you can attest to this. That place went down the toilet after I left. Right?
Just like JP Morgan after I left that place, just down the toilet. Oh wait, they're the biggest bank in the world and they make the most money. Okay, fine.
Definitely was a light was missing in that office environment for sure, my man.
That's so sweet, man. Just give him a
Yeah, it was a touching moment. Like my last week there, like we all went out to lunch with like you and like a couple other people that we all like to hang out with, and they were like, Chris, who's gonna entertain us at lunch if you leave? And I was like, I'm sorry, guys, but duty calls.
I'm sorry, guys. It's definitely not going to be Billy. Let me tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you guys should call a guy named John Dolder. He might be able to help. Oh shit, John just gave me a fucking look of what?
What? But yeah, me and Billy had a good time. We've never lost touch. And he's an awesome guy, and I'm really stoked to share him with the world.
Share him with the world. You own this dude. All right, Billy. So you got a little bit of an accent. Are you from Florida?
Yeah, from Florida, and it's funny. People will say that I don't notice it, but yeah, I am from the South, I guess.
It's if I didn't look at you, I would think I'm talking to like Matthew McConaughey. It's that kind of twang. It's just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So if Tom Cruise and Matthew McConaughey jumped in bed together and decided to figure out scientifically how to have a kid, which I'm sure Scientology can help you out.
Oh yeah, no,
they would create a guy named Billy McMillan.
Yep, they're
spiritually that'd be more in line with Matthew McConaughey though. But yeah, man, I'll take that. Sure.
You mean you're not into Scientology? No, doesn't work for you.
No, but we live pretty close to it, man. It's on the west coast of Florida. I'm on the east coast.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Clearwater, baby.
Yo, my spiritual guide always says, there's a new religion started in the world every single day. There's just religion. There's so many religions. So it actually is not my place to be knocking religions.
You can knock Scientology all day. That is the most ridiculous tax haven.
Judgmental Amr is like, what the fuck is this thing?
They're like evil too.
Respectful Amr is like, you know what? I haven't looked into it. I haven't rolled up my sleeves to learn about it.
Well,
maybe
wasn't it Bill Burr that had that bit about Mormonism and how it just seems stupid because it was created so recently?
Oh yeah, in the last 150 years.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, like a new religion's being started. I mean, religion, dude, is such a huge subject in many colleges. Like, there's whole schools of religion and theology because the Latins, I believe, used to call us
Latinos.
The Latinos, they used to call us. One term for the human being was homo religioso. Right.
Now you're talking my language.
Man who worships. Like, that's what that's a essential part of human beings, is to worship, whether it's a celebrity or God or whatever. Like, that's, I think, why religions are just getting created every single day around the world, you know?
Yeah. Billy, what religion?
I read this book, Sapiens, if y'all have ever crossed paths with
that
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's a great one.
It talked about there's these three unifiers, and one's religion, one's empires, but the other one's money.
Religion, empires, and money. That unifies human beings?
Yeah,
totally.
Like, those are the common things. And the one that kind of is most identified or people align to and get, and regardless of whatever their beliefs are, that they align to, is money. And so it's just funny that the thing that wasn't created as far as a higher power type thing or whatnot, but money is in line with that. The people always say, okay, I need to work for that money so that then I can buy these things, or I can then, do whatever it is. But it's just fascinating to hear in that book, these three unifiers. And
have you heard the term Allahu Akbar?
Of course you have.
Allahu Akbar?
No.
It's an Arabic term that, the media will play on it sometimes. It means God is great or greater. It's an Islamic term. It's basically kind of a mantra to repeat. Whatever shit you're in, be like, God is greater. Whatever I'm dealing with, God is greater. War, God is greater. Famine, God is greater. Donald Trump, God is greater. Right. And so, if I was to rename this podcast anything, it would be Dollar Hu Akbar. Because I really think basically what you said, which is money, especially in the West, is just as great, if not greater, unifier than religion or empires.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not a religious man, but I do pray, and I find that at least one of my prayers is directly tied to money. So
that actually sounds healthy to me.
Yeah. Because
you are in that prayer, if I'm not mistaken, this is how I interpret that prayer. In that prayer is a clear, distinction of what's higher than what. So if you're praying to a higher power for this object money, clearly you're not praying to money thinking that money is going to be like the solution to all your problems.
That would be amazing, to pray to money to ask for more God.
Oh man,
dear money, please give me $30,000 gods a month.
Yeah, I'm working up towards a Jesus right now.
I'm on my way. Yeah. Well, I remember that one thing I had told you about how many people in China, not many, I don't know how many, but there are
a billion
people in China do hang up pictures of Jack Ma, former CEO of Alibaba,
not realizing he's an idiot.
They basically think like that'll bring them more money. Like that's
Yeah.
and so I think that's a form of worshiping money.
I saw a video of Jack Ma and Elon Musk just kind of like shooting the shit. And it was about 2 questions in where the title of the video goes, that moment when Elon realized Jack Ma is a moron.
Like his eyes glaze over. Yeah. He's like, who the hell am I talking to?
What the fuck? Like, it made me think that Jack Ma is like, he's a plant of the Chinese government. He's just an actor. He doesn't know anything. And they're just like, you're going to play the part of a billionaire.
Wow.
And we're going to say that you created Alibaba.
Did you listen to the video by chance?
I watched it and listened. I did both.
Was it 2 questions in where...
Yeah, it was literally
Jack Ma started
one question in.
He started saying some stupid shit?
Yeah, real stupid shit.
Do you remember any of it?
It was like... It was almost like tactical strategy for business. And Jack Ma was just like, I just have an optimistic attitude. And Elon was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's your answer to when the company's going down?
Yeah, it was. And you're like, wow, like a fucking 15-year-old would answer the question like that.
All right, Billy. So here's my big thing about NASA, right? Do you believe in your heart of hearts that our government should continue to support and fund NASA to the tune of billions and billions and billions of dollars a year? Like what do we really achieve by supporting that? We get cool headlines in the newspapers. We get a man on the moon and some video footage. But does it have a real, tangible impact in your mind that makes it make sense to keep funding it and supporting it the way our government does? Or frankly, doesn't? I know they've pulled a lot of funding.
Yeah, no, gotcha. And this is the beauty about this question is that millions of people have the same question and they have the same interpretation that we fund all this money and it goes to nothing but some cool pictures and we don't really see much of it. However, this data could be old. Obviously I've been out of NASA for a short minute, but for every dollar that is invested into NASA, it produces $8 of economy back into the system. So What does that even mean? Meaning at least that could be 5 years data old, and who knows with all the technological advances that we have now, how much it is currently.
That's a huge, let me just repeat it before you move on. You're saying if the U.S. government puts in, let's say, I don't know, $10 billion into NASA, the economy will generate $80 billion of goods and services in some way because of that first $10 billion the government put in.
Yeah, go with that. Because, and here's the thing, the way that the public can go out there and actually see how that is even possible, what are you talking about?
Right.
Because really, I just think I'm funding all these government employees to push paper and kind of sit on their butts. 2 in particular,
Billy and Chris, that probably don't deserve it. Go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You can look up NASA spinoffs. So every year we put out a NASA spinoffs kind of report or whatnot, and it says for all the different things that we've invested in, all the research that we did, here's these cool new initiatives, spinoffs that we have that businesses are taking over and running with and actually making either great products or advancing even more technological advances. So if I just go back in time to the one that is kind of close to my heart is that both of my grandparents on my dad's side are in their 90s and they both have pacemakers. So they would not be here if it wasn't for NASA technology and findings that actually created the pacemaker, allowed the pacemaker to be created. All these things that we talk about and love as far as, I don't know, any type of streaming, TV, things like that. I mean, obviously you got satellites up in space. These things wouldn't have even been possible without NASA and the things that we've been doing. So life as we know it wouldn't be the same, and life as we know it going into the future is not going to be the same as long as we continue to fund the research of the things that we need to do. And let me back up one more time because there's a cool story here is, so I wasn't a recruiter, but I had to fill in one time to somebody go to a local high school, and they had these cool little cards that kind of show a picture of a house And I forget what they're called. It's not hologram, but where you kind of move it and it changes picture. If you just move it slightly, you can see different things.
Oh yeah, I think it is kind of hologram is more of a human of an object that comes to life. Yeah, I know what you mean though.
Right. So you just turn it a little bit. And so it's a blank house, but then all of a sudden you turn it, you can see all the different things that NASA has done to make your house better.
Yep.
And so all I was doing, because the typical recruiter, that was kind of interesting. Recruiter. Recruiter
great image.
Was being very formal of like, hey, this is NASA. This is what we do. I was just handing out these cards saying, hey, you're welcome. Hey, you're welcome. Hey, you're welcome. To everybody walking by, and they were confused. And
why is he saying you're welcome?
Yeah, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Well, all these things that you have, this phone in your hand, the opportunity for you to do this, that, and the other, these great things that you have in your house, all these luxuries and comforts, are thanks to us."
Dude, you should not have been in the offices of NASA. You should have been recruiting at all the high schools because that's a gangster move, man. That's genius. All those kids are like, "Yeah, I want to go work for NASA because they just created our whole world."
Yeah. And the bummer is we just can't market. Like NASA, federal government, the only people that can really market or advertise is the military. So we can't go out there and say that, hey,
you're not allowed to market. I thought you meant like you guys are shitty marketers. Oh.
Well, since we're not allowed to,
yeah, you are.
Yeah, we're crappy. Yeah.
By the way, 1.8 billion Muslims also have that problem. I tell you what, we're great human beings, but the world thinks we're something wrong with us. So we need like an advertising agency to kind of cover 1.8 billion Muslims.
So maybe like a "you're welcome" card. Yeah.
Exactly. You're welcome. We've kept the world alive through prayer. You're welcome.
We gave you arithmetic. Billy, have you ever read the book Innovator's Dilemma?
No, I have not.
Okay, so that to me is kind of NASA in a nutshell. Like a lot of companies will, like a car company, they create a gasoline engine, and then they're like, "Cool, we're making lots of money doing this. Like, why would we change it to electric engine? That just seems like we'll destroy our current business model." And what NASA is able to do, because they're not motivated by the profit, they're able to take chances, do crazy shit, create new technologies that other companies who are entrenched in their current kind of outputs never would create. And that's, to me, that's the, in addition to awesome space exploration, like that's the real value of NASA is like, it's unfettered R&D to just create cool, life-changing shit.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Chris. And I guess the tension there also lives is the tension of having that freedom and that safety net to really just go do crazy, great things, to innovate. And then the tension on the other side of, hey, we've actually killed people. We've lost lives because of one minor, misstep in our launch or in our re-entry process or approach. So we want to push innovation, or we were wanting to push innovation at NASA, yet we still had this understanding that, or this whole notion that that failure was not an option. Mm-hmm. So what that says is, go take risks, but not too much, or go push yourself, but not too, don't put yourself too far out there, which all of us know you're not going to get the rewards that you want unless you go all in, or you really put yourself out there. You're just playing a minimal, like a fraction of the life that you're actually capable of doing. So These two poles live within NASA, and they were constantly, the tension was there as far as being able to pull back on doing too much, but then also the push to really make things great. So I think it's healthy, because anything in life is just like a human being. We all want to go do great things. And then there's these little fear things there that hold us back from, what our parents used to tell us or whatnot to hold us back. Mm-hmm. It's being able and willing to understand, hey, where am I? What is the choice I want to make today? And then either go for it or really play the safe card to really make sure that you get some great research out there so that we can really make an impact on the world.
I think there's this other element as I hear you guys speaking, and I hear you ask that question about Investor's Dilemma, which is a great question. Yeah. Because, NASA does not sound like they're a profit-making entity. They're more focused on other goals, which is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
But as I hear you guys talking, I think to myself, you know what? Like, our curiosity is one of the most important things if you think about it. I know it's abstract. I know it's weird. You can't put a dollar amount on it.
To buy things are buy curiosity?
But
being bi curious?
Buy? No, I mean like the freaking universe. So when you look up in space, when you wonder what's out there, when you that is so valuable. And so to keep that machine, that curiosity machine going, which NASA, I think, plays a huge role in.
Mhm.
At least for my childhood, it did.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like what are they going to discover next and what's out there and what's...
Well, dude, you realize that anytime someone's like, oh, so what's your background? It's like, oh, I worked for NASA. They're like, I fucking love NASA.
Is that right?
Everyone loves NASA.
Yeah, I think everyone does have a positive impression
Yeah.
of NASA. I mean...
Because that's what it represents. It represents like exploration.
Curiosity.
And
It's like, it's the modern version of like Lewis and Clark. You know what I mean? Like we're out there, discovering, exploring,
Mhm.
and helping children, just like our kids, dude. Like it's gonna help them fertilize and just further their curiosity more and more. And that, I think, this is
Strive
a
for
cliche,
more.
but it's priceless. Like it's literally priceless. So I don't know what the right number is for government to be funding NASA, but I do know, after listening to this conversation, after thinking about it and listening to it, I'm like, yeah, I'm totally a supporter of NASA.
Well, what is it? DOD is like 35 cents of every dollar that our government spends.
probably.
NASA is 1/2 of 1 penny of every dollar.
Is that right?
So it's like,
it's like, exactly. It's 1/10 of a penny or something like that.
Yeah,
people think we get paid a lot more, but we don't.
It's a rounding error.
Right. It's a rounding error to all these other things. So well played, Chris. Exactly.
Now I'm so much less judgmental as to why you guys just live like slobs. I guess you guys just haven't gotten paid well at NASA.
Yeah.
Now, don't get us wrong. We do get paid well, but we don't get paid well as an agency.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So cool. That's my major NASA question that I was so curious about, and I think I got a little more insight. So what's up, man? So what are you doing now, Billy? That's 10. No, actually, what were you doing there, and how did it make sense for you to like twist that into this next career thing?
I got you. All right. So started off my career in the business office, and that's where me and Chris met, and managing contracts, reimbursable contracts, construction projects, things like that. And then I got chosen for this leadership development program that NASA holds. It's the top 40 people of, a GS-12 range within the agency.
What's GS-12?
Yeah, so our GS-12 is a pay level that you get in the federal government. So it's anywhere from a GS-1 to a GS-15. And 15 is like the ballers. And then you get into an SES. An SES is like a C-suite individual. So
what's the president?
What's the president? I don't know. They're on their own executive pay scales, I think.
Probably the C-suite one, right? CEC
well,
or SES?
So SES is per agency.
Oh, okay.
And it's each agency might have a different pay scale. We just happen to fall on the GS scale.
Gotcha. So you were GS-12. You had 3 more to go before you hit the top.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And it takes a long time to get there, man.
I'm sure 30, 40 years, right?
Yeah. So got thrown into this program because they saw potential in me, and pretty much I get assigned a leadership coach, development coach. You go through a whole year of all these opportunities, get pushed into these uncomfortable situations.
Oh, like what?
And like
sexual harassment.
How do you like that, Billy? That's not a good
Hate to see
joke.
you go. Love to watch you walk away.
Oh no, it's getting grosser. Oh shit. Then how did Dolder have nothing to do with this?
I think that everything's been said
types of
about
things.
that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, go ahead, Billy. I'm sorry.
No worries. So they pretty much you'll find out. You take these assessments up front, like a Myers-Briggs assessment, see if you're introvert, extrovert type thing.
Yep.
You take conflict dynamics type assessment. So they really just understand you as a human being, and then they'll identify the types of things that hold you back. For me, it was extreme social anxiety. I had tons of creativity, a lot of things within me, but I would have never put them out into the world.
Wow.
Because of fears, insecurities, whatever it might be.
Wow.
And so what does that mean? Oh, Billy, you got to go dance in front of people. Oh, Billy, what does that mean? You got to go talk in front of everybody. And when I
that was the
myself,
extreme social anxiety medicine, right?
Sure. And let me just say that
I'm a great dancer. No, I'm just
yeah,
Billy is a good dancer.
I actually was. Yeah. So that's the thing. I actually love dancing, and then I get
so
out
you must have been like, "What the hell are you all talking about? Let me show you something. Put some music on."
Yeah,
exactly. I play the shy card, then I'm out there like doing the worm and stuff like that. Whatever. But I say that very just quickly, like, hey, you got to go talk in front of people. It was more than that, because what it is, there's a whole process and development that goes into having the capacity to even jump into a scary situation, or what used to be a scary situation to me. And there's a whole environment that supported people in taking risks, because we knew all of us 40 people were there to support each other going through our own stuff, because everybody in the world is going through their own stuff. And oftentimes we're just in our own brains,
alone,
only caring about ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Versus trying to help each other out.
Ooh.
And when you get into an environment like that, it's hands down the most impactful experience that anybody could have. So once that ended, so that's 3 years into my career, and I go through this program, changes my life. I said, I want to make sure that more than 40 people get this type of opportunity in their life. And so I just started putting out like leadership sessions on my own at Kennedy Space Center, where I was at. Nobody asked me to do it. I just started doing it, because anything that I was learning, I would then give it back to, the people around me. And pretty much it just started taking off to where more people started coming to my sessions, more people started hearing about it, started creating these agency-wide initiatives and engagement events. And then all of a sudden...
Chris, sounds like you left a couple years too early, my man.
Yeah, fuck.
This is getting worse and worse for you, dude.
Yeah,
that's great, Billy. What a freaking story, huh?
Here's where Chris plays a part, though, because he was during this whole opportunity and everything. He was there, and Chris is a polar opposite of me. So here I am. I'm 5 foot nothing.
I'm a Nazi. He's a communist.
We're it's completely different. But I saw there's a lot of things in me that Chris would just do naturally. And I was too scared to do them. And being around him allowed me to even take that chance
really
to be part of that as well.
Breaks.
Say it again.
Really long bathroom breaks.
Yeah.
Well, basically, what I'm gathering here is whatever shittiness there is inside of Billy, it was actually your fault, Chris.
Without question.
And he went to that 1 year program to just basically get all the detox Chris Brodhead.
Shook it all off. Yeah.
What a program, dude. And what a guy for doing all this stuff. So you had people like starting to knock on your door for some of this stuff, huh?
Yeah. And that's when I just started doing a lot of stuff on my own, doing some coaching, stuff like that. And then that creates an opportunity for a lot more people, a lot of other government agencies, but then private sectors to say, hey, look, this guy, Billy's actually doing some great things and we want to have you. And so that's what happened now. I'm with Accenture, a great 500,000 person global organization that's changing the world, and couldn't be happier.
So, I mean, what I understood you as kind of a quote unquote integral coach.
Yeah.
And I don't quite understand what that means, especially as it pertains to being at a company like Accenture. Does that mean you're kind of an on-staff coach for executives and whatnot there? Help me understand that.
Yeah, so I'll do the NASA to Accenture translation or approach. So at NASA, I ended up leading the program that I went through. I took over the program that I went through, created some other programs.
Yeah, I'm sure that got you into GS13, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely stepped it up. I got that GS13.
Billy did as much work as like 10 GS15s. Let's just be real.
Get the F out of here, really? You think so?
Yes.
Holy shit.
So that's the thing. When I was doing all these other programs, I would do my day job, my business work. I did all automation type things, 5-hour work week type stuff as much as I could. Get it up at 4 a.m., do all my business stuff. And then I would do during the day, do all my leadership stuff, the stuff that I actually cared about. And then at night, I would follow up with my business stuff. And so maybe sleeping, I don't know, 4 hours a day, but just working nonstop so that I can finally get 100% of my time dedicated to coaching and doing leadership and development at NASA, which I did towards the end of my career.
Billy actually introduced me to the book that convinced me to leave NASA.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Was it Tim
yeah, it was the 4-Hour Work Week. Billy, you must have had it or told me about it. And you're like, dude, this book's super dope. And I was like, book reading, that's for dorks. And then I would just read it on the hour and 10-minute van pool ride to and from work every day. And I got to page 80 and I was like, Billy's right. I'm quitting this job.
Wait. For those who haven't read the book, because I bought the book and I read parts of it, but what's the quick, Billy and Chris, what's the quick, for me to get that? What is, or better yet, how did you apply that, Billy, to your life?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, so at NASA, the type of work I was doing, there was a lot of spreadsheets that I could do, put formulas to versus manually inputting them the way that we were doing originally. So I threw formulas to everything. So everything that took maybe 2 days for us to do, I was doing it in 15 minutes. And so
That's what I'm saying,
that was
10
clearing up a
times
lot
as
of
much.
space.
Wow, yeah.
10 times as much work.
And then I would insert a lot of processes into the system with the people I would interact with, so that they knew at certain times of the week or the month we were already engaging. I didn't have to go reach for them or look for them. They already knew, hey, I'm coming. We're talking. We're getting some things solved. And so I would just put a lot of automation into the processes and into life, so that it created the extra spare time for me to do the things that I loved at NASA still, which is another great thing about NASA. They allow you the space and time to do those passion projects as long as you get your work done.
So you're saying a lot of the 4-hour workweek Tim Ferriss philosophy is around, squeezing your brain to figure out how to automate and reduce effort, but still get the job, done 100% accurately. Is that what a lot of his philosophy is? And is that what you applied?
Yeah, automation, better process, so that you can spend more time doing the things either that you love or that produce more value to yourself and to others, versus the mundane, like AI and stuff is taking over all the stuff that we used to do. Like half of the workforce in the world that I used to live in at NASA could be, wiped out within a year, and we'll have to be reskilled to do other things because AI technology advances will be able to do all that type of thing.
No, do you really believe that?
I do.
I know from experience that he speaks the truth.
Within a year, Billy? Do you really mean that?
I mean, people are doing it now. Like, for instance, so a procurement process to buy something in a federal government, you need a lot of different documents, paperwork. The contractor themselves need to be on a certain system and approved by the government, etc. And oftentimes it takes at least 5 people to approve things, check the box before it gets signed off and bought.
Yeah. That shit sounds so annoying. We used to have it at JP Morgan too, all that shit.
All these other companies and things, they're using Alexa, like Alexa Dots, to just say, hey, Alexa, buy me those 500 rolls of toilet paper or whatever it might be that I need. And it does it all automatically. It comes up with their final spreadsheet or their final sign-off document. All things are checked. The approvers are already there, and you're good to go. So something that would take a day back in the day is taking maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
That's one example.
One example.
Okay, I got you. Stuff's becoming much more efficient.
Yeah.
Because of AI. Yeah, I get that. But I mean, the term you said was a lot of, I thought what I understood was like a bunch of human beings are about to become obsolete at NASA, for example.
Oh, okay.
Is that what you were suggesting?
And here's the thing is, I don't believe humans will ever be obsolete. I think that they're going to be reskilled and redirected into things that they'll be able to provide more value. So instead of wasting time pushing buttons and putting in manual, numbers into spreadsheets, they're going to be able to have conversations, creative collaborations, or, thought-provoking things that's going to then advance us even farther.
Right.
Because that's what we're great at doing. That whole curiosity thing that you said before, it's going to free up the time to get out of the bean counting and into the whole space of creating the future.
Full agreement. I agree with that. But I mean, what I understood from you was that like in the next year, a lot of people who are at, for example, NASA, who are doing their gig, aren't going to necessarily be there doing that gig because AI is moving so quickly. Is that what you were suggesting?
If NASA says, yes, we want to invest in this, which they have plenty of opportunities to invest in that, once they say yes, that is true.
Wow.
And the thing is, they will just be reskilled. It's going to be a great opportunity for people to learn something new, do something completely different.
Wow. I got you. Wow. It's got my brain turning about how I can use AI more in my life and in my business, but also how I can automate and improve processes more in my life and in my business per Tim Ferriss.
Yeah. Right. Per Tim Ferriss, yeah.
So all right. So you took over that program and then somehow that catapults you into moving towards Accenture somehow, right?
Right. And so pretty much at Accenture, I'm doing the same thing where I am a certified coach. I can coach people one-on-one to help support them in getting out of whatever they're stuck in life. And then I also design, facilitate, and lead development sessions. I love facilitating. I love getting people out of their box, out of their comfort zones, and doing new things. I love designing programs so that people feel, supportive, comfortable doing crazy things that are outside of their comfort zone. but having those one-on-one coaching sessions is one of the things I do like doing as well.
Do you do this stuff personally? Like if I was to call you up after the session and be like, yo, Billy, can we do one-on-one stuff? Are you too busy for
sure.
that?
Yeah, for sure. No, I do that. I do that now, so there's no problem.
You do that right now. Okay, so you do personal stuff as well. Yeah, I mean, sometimes life coaching and coaching in general gets a knock, you know?
Sure.
I hear people say, what do I hear? Like glorified, I forget, you know, there's some really, people rip on life coaches sometimes. I'm like, damn, you know? But I mean, like, what's your take on that? You know?
I mean,
are there life coaches out there who you think are BS and they aren't really helping someone? Or do you feel like they're all really well trained and you recommend everyone to have a life coach?
Sure. I think it's like any other service that you could go out there and have in the world. You're going to get some great experiences. Like I heard you say before, you're on the restaurant business, you're in the experience business or whatnot.
Yep.
You can get different experiences wherever you go. So you're going to get whoever you go with, it's fine. But my belief truly is that a life coach should not be telling you what to do, or like a development coach should not be telling you what to do. Some people go into wanting to be a coach because they like telling people what to do. That's not what it is.
Dangerous.
The belief is that integral coaching is about looking at the person as a whole. So the physical well-being, the somatic responses they have, their emotional state of mind, their perspectives and interpretations of the world, so that then we can support you, the human being, in unlocking what is, the potential for you. So it's an unfolding. So think of either a flower that's ever blooming and constantly unfolding of what is possible for you. That's what my job is to do, is really help unfold what is possible for you, because you have all the resources you have already, meaning you have what it takes inside of you to do whatever it is you want to do. There's just other stuff that's getting in the way that has been created either from your upbringing, from society, from just, interpretations and stories we're telling ourselves.
Right.
And we're just there to support you in asking the questions and, having people look at things a little differently and create a body to actually do the things they want to do.
Right. Okay. I get that. I like that too. And I visit with a therapist and he sometimes asks those type of questions. And they'll go back into, childhood and all that other stuff. And it helps me sometimes. I really get to see, man, this is why I'm behaving this way. And so I feel more, what's the word? I have more knowledge about myself.
Yeah, it's self-awareness, man.
Yeah, it's really self-awareness. That's the number one thing. But then one nice consequence of that is I feel a little bit more self-assured. Like, I don't know if it's confidence, if that's the best word, but like I now know more like my blind spots and weak spots and all the shit, weakness. And so I feel a little bit more like, okay, I kind of know Amr and I know what, in what ways he's messed up, and I can live with that. I can live with him. I accept me more, a little more, so I get that. And so a life coach in that way keeps a person moving forward, focusing more on their goals. I don't think my therapist really focused on my goals too much, to be honest with you. I think they're more focused on me, like on me healing and self-assured and that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. And you asked, hey, should everybody have one? I believe, yeah. Before, especially in the South, it's different. So I was trained in San Francisco. Everybody in my course seemed to have two therapists and a coach. Down in the South, it's like, if you're going to see somebody, something's wrong with you. You don't talk about that, no nothing. But the belief is that hopefully the world that we're in now is getting to more people actually are talking more about things that they're dealing with, and we're more supportive for each other.
I have 3 therapists.
Do you really?
Yeah, I have a cognitive behavioral therapist.
Okay. That's like a regular therapist.
Yeah. NET therapist and a couples therapist.
What's an NET therapist?
The neuro-emotional therapy.
And what do they do? I mean, I kind of know this because you talked about it, but
they use muscle testing to figure out the core cause to like your traumas, or like the core traumas that cause your triggers or anxieties or depression or whatever. So
they'll touch muscles in your body in a way, and then listen basically with their eyes and ears.
Yeah. Well, they just ask questions, and then if your arm goes down, it means that is making you weak, and then you just dial it in, and then you figure out what the hell happened. Right. And then you think about it, and you breathe, and you tell your reptile brain that that's not happening right now, and we don't need to worry about that anymore.
Powerful.
Yeah. It's like a year of cognitive behavioral therapy every session.
Wow.
Yeah.
You get some deep
I'm
insights.
literally enlightened.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
And so going back to AI though, like the future.
Chris sounds like he is AI.
Yeah, the future of coaching is they're thinking that we could have like a one-on-one session on Skype or whatever the platform is, and I would be tuned into you, meaning the computer, some wearables you might have, Apple Watch, whatever it might be.
Wow.
Would be able to identify and
wow.
understand. Oh, number one, what is your true thought? Is it a fight or flight type response when I ask a question? What's the body temperature looking like? So it's going to provide me, the coach, almost one of these,
cool.
like, you know, put on these special glasses and I see all these little data points.
Matrix.
Provide me more data to actually have better coaching.
For real?
Wow.
Have you done that yet, or is that where AI is moving towards?
No, that's like the visions of the things that we're already working on. But AI is already kind of picking up, the triggers, like, is that fight or flight thought going on in the head?
Just the image of Billy doing that with me or any client, I was like, yo, when can I sign up? That sounds amazing.
Dude, that sounds dope.
You should fake the funk with some glasses, Billy, and put some matrix numbers on the screen. Be like, this is what I do. Put it on your website. You have a line out the door, I think.
Yeah.
But you will go to jail eventually.
Billy's emotional X-ray machine.
Dude, what a word. What the hell does that even mean? Cool, man. Cool. Wow. I'm fascinated by a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I have you have 3 therapists. I have a therapist, and I feel like I sometimes we had my wife and I did have a couples therapist as well for a bit, and that helped us.
Mm-hmm.
But we also said, like, you know what? I think we need a little break after like 8-9 months, maybe a year of that.
Yeah.
We took a break, and it's been good. It challenges us, and she and I both are like, do we need to go back to therapy? Sometimes we ask ourselves. So I think we're kind of like monitoring it. But I mean, like, it was a big hump for me in my 20s. I remember talking about this with Hayden before. This other person we've had on.
He's a life coach as well.
Yeah.
I think I might have tried to connect you with Hayden at one point.
Yeah,
Billy.
yeah. We talked a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He what came up there was it's now escaping me. I lost my train of thought. But it was basically like, you know, we have these therapists, and we have the couples therapist. Do I feel bad about having a therapist? And that was a big hump to get over for a while. Because like you said, Billy, like the first thought is like, there's something wrong with me. You know,
if you feel bad about having a therapist, you need therapy. Right. And a therapist can help you with those feelings.
I mean, I think that if a person feels bad about having a therapist, that's just kind of what Billy was talking about. You're creating a story or an interpretation that isn't serving you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're actually resisting help that you might benefit from.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I think that's something I had to really jump over and get over. And once I did, I was more like, yo, maybe someone can help me with my spirit and spiritually. Maybe someone can help me with my finances, like a financial advisor or something like that. Maybe someone can help me
financial
with
therapist.
Yeah, we need some of those. Damn, for real. Maybe someone. I literally my world started to open up. Maybe someone can help me produce a podcast.
Yeah.
Let me call Chris.
Ooh, I know a guy.
Maybe someone can help me with the podcast. So I asked John. I just started asking people for help.
Yeah.
And some people say no.
Yeah.
Some people are like, no, I can't. I don't want to do that. Doesn't it? I'm like, okay, cool. I get it. I get it. And some people are like, yo, I think I can benefit from that. I'm like, cool. I will too. Win-win. Let's do this, baby.
Yeah.
You know? And so I think that, you know, really, now that I think about it more, a life coach or a therapist is kind of like when you make that jump, especially if you want to invest in yourself in that way, it allowed me at least, and I bet other people, to ask for help more instead of like being alone with those problems, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What advice would you give for Carlos Rosen, the former CEO of Nissan, the guy who ran Mitsubishi, Renault, right? This was one of the biggest swing index out there in the world. This guy had to get into a crate, figure out Osaka airport security gaps, put himself in a crate, fly himself to Turkey.
Shit.
Yeah, all sorts of crazy shit to escape the Japanese legal system.
Wow.
Yeah, and now he's in Beirut, Lebanon. He's a Middle Eastern. I think he's half Middle Eastern, half Brazilian, or something like that. But have you heard about this story about this guy?
Yeah, yeah, I have. I actually didn't hear about that's how he got away. I've been interested to hear how he actually got away, but getting in a crate, nice.
This
Good
is
for
like
him.
some movie kind of shit. Like,
Yeah.
Billionaire jet setting guy goes to jail and then figures
Yeah.
out like, oh man, I think the Japanese have it out for me. I'm gonna escape.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, man, as far as advice, again, going back to the whole coaching thing, it wouldn't be advice. It'd be questions that I would ask him that he would then figure out why.
Right.
But the whole thing is with coaching is that we aren't therapists. And you hit a certain threshold of crazy that it's time to turn him over to a therapist. And like he would not be a client that I would take on to begin with.
No shit.
But
he said, Billy, you're all I got. What would you say to him? I'm not going to a therapist. He says, I'm not going to a therapist. I think only people who are broken go to therapists. So I need you.
Yeah, then support him as much as I can. But the thing is, let's just say, all right, here's this dude, did some shady things, trying to get out. My questions would be around, all right, so what are you running from? What's kind of work back the whole things that he's going to lose. And my whole thing, I love looking at the SCARF model, if y'all are familiar with it or not.
No, SCARF.
But yeah, David Rock, Neuro Leadership Institute, kind of pinged and has this thing called the SCARF model. So it's an acronym: status, certainty, autonomy, relatedness, and fairness.
Mm.
And what this is there's social needs that all of us have. So status, being of understanding the relative importance between people, who am I compared to you? Certainty is being able to predict what the future is. Autonomy, being able to actually control the future. Relatedness is, hey, am I liked or am I not liked? Am I in or am I out? And then fairness is, hey, how is the transactions between others? Are they fair? So are there fair interactions being done between others or myself and others? And so what the theory is that much like our physical needs, the food, water, shelter, things like that, or even if I get punched, if the whole goal is to maximize the rewards of, if I am high on status and I want status to be fulfilled, I want more of that thing. We want to limit the amount of status being taken away from me. I would feel as if for instance, I want to be a GS14 and I'm still the GS12 after 5 years, and all of a sudden I get passed up on a promotion again,
right?
And my status is going down. I feel inside of me the same pain that I would if I got punched in the face.
Wow.
And so the whole thought is that we need to understand for ourselves how these different social needs play out for us, so that we're more self-aware and understand, so that we can make better decisions. And I say better meaning you have a choice to make a decision. You can still make a decision to do the sketchy things and to run away. But the thing is, it gives you a moment to actually step back and say, all right, why am I doing this? What is it actually satisfying in me, or what is being dismissed or threatened in this type of situation that is causing me to respond in this way, so that then I can kind of either repackage and, approach it a different way, or I always have the choice to continue down my sketchy path.
So let me just make sure I understand. So the SCARF model is a helpful a guide for someone like you sitting with Carlos to start to walk him down self-awareness, self-understanding. Why am I behaving the way I'm behaving, and get to some answers that might help him.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so status, that first S, I mean, it seems like a layup, right? Because the guy was jet setting to Davos. He was the big swing. He had probably had a private jet. He probably lived a crazy life of parties and this and that. I mean, not necessarily like drugs and everything, but I mean, like, everyone seeking the power that he wields. And so he was someone who's highly sought after, highly powerful. And so that is status, if I'm not mistaken. And he's clearly, it's all at jeopardy, right? It's all at jeopardy. And so he's making choices now. That's the S. Is that how I think about it?
Yeah. And that's how you can think about it. And that's the beauty about the model, is because then you can even start playing out even more to where, well, snap, maybe he's doing all this stuff because he doesn't feel related unless he has all these millions coming in, and I can't fly on my jet, or I can't do these parties. Then I'm
a no one.
For instance, if those are taken away, I'm nobody. I'm not related. I'm not liked anymore because I don't have my money. So we can find out for ourselves, because this is a whole self thing. We find out for ourselves how SCARF impacts us. that can help us be, once we're aware of how Scarf impacts us in different situations, we then can, kind of be in these, well, it's probably status for him. We can be in these conversations a little bit, but we truly don't know until we get into questions with other people. Going back to your curiosity piece, you're going to be able to have better questions and ask better questions to the people that you care about or the people that you're trying to support using these angles. Be like, who knows? Maybe the question is like, hey man, you lost this position, or all these millions are being taken away. Where's that putting you right now? And if they go to, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to lose all my friends. That's more of a relatedness thing. Yeah. Versus, man, it pisses me off because now I'm not going to be swinging it with all the other CEOs and stuff like that, which is a status thing.
Absolutely.
You can kind of piece part it that way.
The C is certainty. And you talked about it as it relates to the future. And I'm sure he was thinking like, yo, the future does not hold very good things for me sitting here in Tokyo, Japan. So I'm going to escape.
Yeah. And I would say he's pretty high on the A, autonomy. Because autonomy is grabbing the wheel and saying, I'm going to predict the future. I'm going to do this on my own terms.
Yes.
So he saw that certainty being threatened and he said, I'm going to do something about it.
Correct. But the C and the A, those are questions you would ask, or are they also helping you diagnose?
Say it again.
The C and the A, of the Scarf. Is it mainly questions you would ask, or are they also helping you diagnose?
It's both. Like when you're listening and you're hearing people talk, if a lot of things around, they drove to the mall and it took forever, that's more around autonomy. Or if it's like, it really drives me nuts when my wife doesn't tell me, where we're going to go for dinner. That's just certainty. They want to know where we're going to go to dinner. So it's a way of listening so we can hear better as far as what people are saying, but then also guides our questions to get more clarification and understanding.
Right. And then you get better understanding. And of course, the person answering the questions gets better understanding.
Exactly.
And then from there, now that you know he's high on C and high on A a lot, I'm making it sound like it's some kind of a drug, this Scarf. But you can now
cocaine and acid
have a person can have a better understanding of their behavior and possibly make different choices. Like, oh yeah, my certainty was totally threatened. Oh yeah, I need autonomy and I need to get control.
Exactly.
And he might say by the end of all that, I'm cool with the choices I made. That was exactly what I wanted to do.
Yep. And let's just say that we do this prior to him escaping or leaving. We could say that, let's just say we're having a conversation about it and he's realizing that autonomy is very high and he wants to do his own thing. We could still have a discussion around, you can still have autonomy and do it in a way that you're not going to jeopardize everything in the future. Maybe it's a different way of going through the system and in a like more of a legal, collaborative way. Who knows? Like really going high in getting the best lawyers to support them. I don't know the whole legal system over there, whatnot, but there's then better choices that they can look at. Okay, autonomy will still be checked off and satisfied, but done in a way that actually looking in the future or looking with, no more blinders, fear, fight or flight type blinders, but opening up a little bit more and seeing more possibility that is out there. Wow. That's the thing. When we're locked into that reptilian brain, we're zeroed in. We gotta run for whatever's going to save us in the moment, versus if we just open up a little bit more, we can see all the possibilities that are out there.
I feel like I'm wrestling with this right now personally. So I've taken over this restaurant, and I was slowly over the last 6 months kind of like figuring out what do I need to change, what needs to stay, what's good, what's not. Oh, am I going to relaunch this menu? Oh shit, I'm going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. Existing customers get bent out of shape, blah, 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 blah. And so then we relaunched a couple weeks ago. And it's just been like intense since. I'm talking to every customer. A lot of them just look at me with a frown on their face when they look at the new menu, and they just kind of give me a thumbs down. And I'm just like, damn.
Change me.
Exactly. And other people are just like, whoa, this is amazing. Congratulations. Bless you. I hope you have great success. I can't believe this food is coming out of this kitchen. This is amazing. You guys are doing great. So, I get both.
Innovation, baby.
For me, though, I'm locking in. I'm like, okay, all hands on deck. Let's do it. Full court press. Gotta focus. And I'm like, I could feel myself locking into something. And Linda, my wife, my wonderful wife, is like, yo, I haven't heard you have not been paying attention to us as much. You're not asking as much about us. You're not this. You're missing bedtime a little bit more, this and that. And I'm like, okay, is this just like intense beginning and you got to focus in the beginning to get the train going and to get this thing up to 20, 25 knots so it's sailing on its own with the wind behind it? Or am I falling into bad old patterns and habits of workaholism? Nothing else matters. I just got to succeed. I don't want to lose my status. I need certainty. I want autonomy. Rah, rah, rah. I don't know what the R and the F stand for. So, that's a little quick, candid story about myself.
Yeah.
What do you all think?
One question I guess I would always have
go
is
with the questions.
What type of support system do you have now? Meaning, hey, am I getting back into my workaholism? And this is less of an open-ended question, but like, what are the type of support system, mentors, things like that do you have that are also in the restaurant business that are helping you through this?
I have some. So my brother is a restaurateur. He does own some restaurant. He's been doing it for a long time, so he does have good experience.
8 restaurants?
7 now.
7.
He closed one of them down.
Yeah.
So Mutaz. He's been helping me quite a bit. So that's good. That's really good. And my wife reminds me, did you ask Mutaz? I'm like, no, I didn't. I'm like, yeah, why am I not asking him? And then the chef here is, like I said earlier in the beginning of the podcast, he's a prominent chef. He's got 2 decades of experience. So this guy's actually oftentimes, even though I'm the boss, quote unquote, I'm turning to him a lot to give me advice, which is actually, I think, a good boss. It's like, yo, he's asking me for an answer for something. I'm like, advise me. What would you do?
He's the head coach and you're the owner.
Yeah,
like
kind of, right?
Team.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. Yeah. So I have some of that. And then an important part of my life is therapy and men's group. So I go to something called MKP, the Mankind Project. It's a men's group therapy. We go there, we support each other. We do a lot of the guys who there.
You'd love it, Billy. I went to a couple sessions.
Sounds great. Yeah.
I think you'd thrive there. I mean, a lot of the guys who are there are therapists themselves. You know what I mean? Like this is them doing their own work on themselves.
Yeah.
So my dearest friends are just therapists who are there, and we sit in group together. So I must say, like, those guys have all been reaching out to me, like, hey, we're not hearing from you. What's going on? What's been happening? Why aren't we just, what's going on? Texting. One of them even came to the restaurant. He's like, hey, what's up? Just checking in. How you doing? So I will say I have some, but Billy, I think the issue is I notice myself recoiling or like taking a step back from some of that support. I don't know what's going on. So I do think something's up with me now that I hear myself talk with these amazing questions you're asking.
And so thank you for that, because the main thing I just want to make sure is that there is a support system there. Because often, like, even going back to what we were talking about earlier, we want to make sure that people don't feel as if they're in it by themselves.
Right.
There's this whole research that was done with these college kids so they brought them to the bottom of this mountain or this hill, and the professor or whatever had one person come up to the bottom of the hill and said, okay, how high do you think this is? And, each person one at a time said how high the hill was. And then he had them come up 2 at a time, shoulder to shoulder, look at it. All right, how high do you think this is? They talk together and say, okay, it's this high. When people walked at it side by side, the mountain was like 30% shorter, or the hill was 30% shorter than it was when they're standing at it by themselves.
Wow.
So
really?
So just looking at it in theory.
So they would say like this is 1,000 feet, but then when they're standing shoulder to shoulder with someone, like me and Chris were looking at it, we'd be like, nah, it's more like 700 feet. Is that right? 30%?
Yeah, exactly. So what I do, by twisting that, is saying, hey, look, it makes it say that the mountain, the thing that we're struggling with, or the goal that is up there that we're trying to reach, is much lower and more achievable, easier to achieve when we have somebody beside us or supporting us.
Wow.
Versus if it's just us there alone.
This dude reminds me of
profound.
Teju, my dear friend Teju, who I don't know if you met Teju or talked to him.
I don't think I have.
But that's a really thoughtful, beautiful thing.
That's amazing.
Man. Yeah. So, wow. So I wonder what happened. I wonder if he ran the test like he put 3 people shoulder to shoulder. If it came down to like
it just keeps getting lower and lower and lower. Yeah.
Until eventually, like, there ain't no mountain here. What mountain?
There's no mountains.
Ain't no mountain high. They just start singing.
And the other thing I was going to say too is like, there's this other thing. Man, I'm really throwing out a lot of like just people's names. Bridges change model. I think that's what it is. Bridges change model. It talks about how there's endings and there's new beginnings. So these 2 islands. The tough thing is that there's this rough waters in between. And oftentimes in life, we think that we can just jump on a helicopter, go from the ending, and go straight to the beginning of this new beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you press the easy button, you go over there. Life doesn't happen like that.
It's got to be choppy.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And so it's identifying where you are. Yeah, you're a new beginning. You're ready. You're all in. You got this new menu. Where are the customers? Where's the staff? Where's everybody else in your support system? They might still be back at the ending, or they might be in this rough water. So what do we do? How do we have conversations with them to say, checking in with them? Hey, where are you? How can I how can I support you? Maybe just making an inch move towards the new beginning, not just picking them up and moving them with you, but we're asking them to bring the brick, not the cathedral, small step at a time type thing, so that we can just slowly get them from wherever they are towards where you are at this new beginning. Or you might scale it back just a little bit, so you can offer maybe once a week one of the old school menu items of whatever it is.
Holy
you know what I mean?
I can't believe you just said that. Literally 12 hours ago, I was sitting in this room where we're taping upstairs in the restaurant, and the chef said, hey man, maybe like on Mondays we should bring back baba ganoush, Tuesdays we bring back the old hummus, Wednesdays we bring back, and you just said it. Oh my God, that's a great idea. We got to do it.
That's awesome.
I like that. Bridges change, so it's just like bring the brick, not the cathedral. You just do one small thing to move people towards their change, because it's going to be choppy. That resonates because, I mean, Billy, I didn't even tell you much about my life. I was an investment banker for 10 years at JP Morgan, and I studied economics at 4 years at University of Chicago. So I was like, in the top institutions, big swing, like I'm everywhere, I'm important, and also, and then
As you should be.
Right. And then I made a huge shift. And I went into entertainment and comedy and stand-up comedy and podcasting and all this other stuff. And that went on and taking improv classes. That went on for like 6-7 years of all that training and learning and practicing. And it was tough because I had to make income. I was living off of savings. And I kind of started to like find a groove in the last 12 months. And I'm getting booked for shows here and there. I'm much more comfortable on stage. I'm much more comfortable in the podcasting arena. And then right when I started getting okay with it and comfortable, the restaurant opportunity presents itself. I'm like, I think I got to do this. It's the entertainment business, restaurant, being in the restaurant. So I think I can figure out some overlaps. And so the choppy waters are back, and I feel myself retreating from mentors and help. And it's like hearing this, it's like, wait a minute. This is where the mountain and the whole difficulty in this whole process can feel a little bit easier if I have the right people standing shoulder to shoulder with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Good for you, bud.
That's good, Billy McMillan.
Yeah. I got you, bro.
I feel like Billy's got me. You're a good dude, Billy. I like you, man.
I appreciate it, bud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Congrats on the new daughter.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Definitely just changing a lot of diapers right now, and looking forward to seeing how life evolves as a family of 4.
That's right, baby.
So I might be reaching out to you, man, for some tips.
Oh, man.
You're far in advance than I am so far.
Oh, man. If you ask my wife, and she would tell you, he's the last guy you should speak to. I am not the best at all that stuff, man. But I'm trying, baby. I'm trying. Cool. It was great to have you on, Billy.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for having me, man. And when I'm up in Chicago, I'll be up there in May. I want to come check out the restaurant. You said it's Cedars, right?
Yeah, man. Come through, Cedars. We're in Hyde Park. Yeah, man. And let's bring you on the podcast again, man. It's fantastic. I'd love to do it in person.
Sounds great, man.
Yeah.
Chris? And Chris, great seeing you. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Billy, where can people find out more about you?
Thank you, Chris.
And your services.
Gotcha. Pretty much just reach out. I got the whole Twitter thing @_ Billy McMillan.
Mm-hmm.
Search for me on LinkedIn. I think I'm pretty much on those 2 platforms the most. And it's just Billy McMillan. You can do a keyword search there for NASA or Accenture, and you should find me pretty easily. Just look for a dude with a smile and a light blue shirt, and that's me.
Nice. Chris, thanks for coming on, brother.
Hell yeah, man.
We missed your ass.
I know. I love being on.
Yeah, baby. Dolder.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you for having me on, man.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Just
I love you.
just hanging out.
Cool. All right, y'all. Peace out. Thanks,
All
Billy.
right.
Take care.
It's
All right, y'all.
great. Hey,
See ya.
Billy, dude, thanks again for coming on, man. It was great seeing you. We got to catch up in person, man.